Hello and good morning, Andile Khumalo. How are you?
Very well, sir. And how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. And I see you are, we're in the southern hemisphere. Normally we have the best weather in the world, but today's a little bit chilly. You got your scarf. You're ready for what may come today.
Yeah, no, it is. It is one of those days, and I guess we are in winter. I guess seasons are seasons. So it's a little chilly, and I don't like the cold much. I'm a summer guy. I'm a spring and summer guy, so I take my precautions when it comes to winter.
Very nice. I have a hot water bottle on my feet. I don't go anywhere without it. Little secrets. Okay, so I'll quickly introduce myself. I am Adi Kaimowitz. I am involved with a business called Virtual Actuary, and we're a lovely business. That's all I can say. For those who look into us, I think they'll probably agree. Would you like to introduce yourself, Andile? For those who don't know you, some of the people that I interact with are overseas as well.
Sure, absolutely. Hi guys, my name is Andile Khumalo. I am an entrepreneur. I run a business called KhumaloCo, and what we do is that we invest in businesses and help them grow. I've been in business now for 20 years or so. I'm a chartered accountant by profession. I spent some time in investment banking, but yes, for the majority of my life, I've been an entrepreneur in businesses in media, in technology, and also in marketing and communications.
Wonderful. A fantastic profile and somebody who built it from the ground up. And I personally always appreciate that, maybe because I'm the one building it from the ground up. Okay. So today's topic is differentiating yourself. Now, there's obviously two angles. We have the companies that differentiate themselves from other companies, and then there's, as an individual, an up and coming who wants to be a company that differentiates themselves. So it's a bit of different angles. And so the first first question is, at what point have you earned the right to differentiate yourself?
Earned the right to differentiate yourself. At what point do you earn the right? I guess as the question suggests, earn is something that is bestowed on you by others on the basis of what you've done, right? So I guess the market will tell you, your customers will tell you, your partners will tell you, the people that are attracted to you will tell you, or people that are repelled from you, okay, I guess, because you could also distinguish yourself for all the wrong reasons. I guess, it's one of those holy grail things. I think people always want to talk of themselves or to speak of themselves as being different. Everybody wants to be unique. But I guess you're only unique when you don't tell yourself that, is when others tell you that there is something special about this brand, or there's something special about this product, or there's something special about this company, or there's something special about this individual. I guess you can only kind of stand on the podium and say, I am distinct and unique, when someone else and not yourself can say so and can behave accordingly, whether that's voting with their wallet, or voting for your political party, or expressing the reasons why they think you're unique. So I think you can only earn that right when that affirmation comes from a third party. It can't come from yourself, I don't think.
I agree, and I think also sometimes, let's say somebody's all fresh out of varsity, or you've worked in two companies in the container industry. You all of a sudden now you know about containers. You've spent 6 months or even 2 years in the container industry. Now all of a sudden, we're going to start a new container business made out of plastic. Oh, we'll be so different. But you don't know anything about the container industry.
No.
Someone may have tried it in the past. The plastic, on the seas, the cold and the hot shrinks, melts, and it's not safe anymore. From safety regulation perspective, fundamentally you're wrong. So that's my point, is really about, people think that going into business is about differentiating yourself. Not really. It's about trying to come up with a solid business, gaining some traction, hopefully having a differentiating factor, but actually just getting, business going, and then saying, okay, we know the industry, we want to differentiate, this is who we are. So it's kind of like what I was saying is, I read one of your articles about, in hindsight, you potentially could have stuck around at the one business for slightly longer. You would have learned a bit more. You wouldn't have made so many mistakes down the line. So that's the whole point, is that everyone wants to be this glorified person who's changing the world, but have you earned the right to change the world?
But also, what's the point? You're different to what end? I speak to a lot of entrepreneurs. A big part of my life is I work with business owners. I run another business called I'm an Entrepreneur, where we essentially train and upskill entrepreneurs, especially at the early stages of their businesses. And I often hear the line, when I ask them, so what makes your business special? Oh, we are different. Okay, you're different because, we're different. That's why we're special, because we're different. We don't do it quite like the other guy. We do it this way. And then I ask the question, so what does that mean for the customer? What does that difference mean? Does it mean lower cost? Does it mean better value? Does it mean a faster widget? Does it mean a more durable widget? Like, what value is different to me, who's going to part with money to buy whatever you're selling? So it's not enough to be different. That means absolutely nothing if it doesn't translate into value.
Beautiful. That's practical. I like that. Okay. Number 2. You did well. You got 10 out of 10 for that one.
I'm glad. Thanks, coach.
Okay. Number 2. I believe you will like my product or service. When do you know your minimal viable product is ready?
Is?
Ready. It's enough of a minimal viable product, because bells and whistles are lovely.
Yeah. It's the same question. It's the same answer to the question, how do you know you're ready to get married? You don't. You absolutely don't. In fact, after you get married, you realize just how not ready you were to get married. So what am I saying? It's a leap of faith, especially at that stage of your business, Adi. You don't know enough to be able to scientifically pinpoint the exact moment that you are absolutely ready to get going. And a lot of entrepreneurs get stuck in trying to scientifically pinpoint that moment. You can't. It becomes a leap of faith. If you love her enough, if you can see the rest of your life with her, and you feel like you're ready to spend the rest of your life with her, just do it. Because whether you wait a year or you wait 10 years, whatever the outcome of the marriage will be. So it's the same thing for me with a minimal viable product. I think you work at your business, you work at your product as much as you can, as best as you can, and until you get to a point where you just feel that it is time. It is time for you to put yourself out into the wild, wild world and take a shot.
That's the point. Yeah, start getting clients.
But people will do the basics anyway. You'll get going, but you'll never really know. Some products, they get some traction, then they think it's enough. Let me go out there in terms of clients. Some get their clients only when they're out there, because products are different. Some products you can get clients before you put yourself out there. But some products and some services, you have no real choice. You kind of have to be out there to be out there. You know what I mean?
So are you saying there's 2 stages of client acquisition? One would be like feeling it out and then putting yourself out there. Is that what you're saying? Is you want to gain some traction? It's so weird, because I just thought you go out there, you just try and get as many clients as possible.
No, absolutely not. I mean, many businesses I've been involved in, I'm a big fan of, are people going to pay for this? That's the holy grail question. And after the falling in love with the product and how amazing you think you are because you've come up with this thing, at the end of the day, is a customer going to part with cash, hard-earned cash, give up something else to buy this? And if you can't answer that question with conviction, you're probably not ready. So absolutely, I try to make sure that I've at least tested the market. But some products, like I say, and some services, you can't have your 1 foot in and your 1 foot out. Some you have to build the platform, you have to publicize the platform for customers to be able to trial and believe your product is worth it and then pay for it. You know, so products and services are different. There's no golden rule for me, but I would say try by all means to do it when you're most confident that people are willing to part with money. Part with money for it. If you're still at, oh, it wouldn't it be cool if stage, I call it the wouldn't it be cool if stage, don't do it. Because it would be cool if, I just may not pay money for it. You got to get to a point where you go, I think people will pay money for this convenience. Think people will pay money for this compelling proposition. If you're not there, you're not ready to go out there because you're just going to lose your jacket. You are.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. I've learned something there as well. I just went in like a cowboy. That's my style. You know, just here we go. You know, here we go. You know, hold on. We're going on the ride of our lives, and we'll work it out as we go.
For some people, that has worked. But if we having a conversation about what is the sensible thing to do, how should you think it through? That's the advice I would give. But you're right. Some people have gone cowboy. Most people who've gone cowboy have lost their shirts. Some people who've gone cowboy have done very well.
We bought some new shirts. You know, in 2 years and 2 months, 2 years and 3 months, we're in like 57 million rand revenue.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
You know, still self-funded. You know, it's all sort of profit generating.
That's brilliant.
Well, I mean, I had a few credit cards up front to gamble with.
And how much of what the business does now is exactly what the business did at launch?
Yeah, it is identical. It's just that we've just become more credible. You know, building the credibility right up front we were always confident that we had the credibility and the in-house skills. But, you know, getting clients to swap over to you and then do some projects and they like it and then they, you know, oh, that was very good, and then they come back and then they come back and then they come back. Then they forget about everyone else and they just use you. So it took some time for that. Cool. Okay, number 3. Let's talk a little bit about gaining traction versus being paid a fair is fair fee.
What is a fair is fair fee?
So I'll give you an example. You're a service provider, you're an engineer, you're an accountant, you're an actuary. We deal with actuaries. You're a lawyer, you know, client wants to interact with you. You're opening a new business. And, oh, you know, when I was at so-and-so company, we were charging you 3,500 Rand an hour. So now that I'm by myself, I'll charge you 2,000 Rand an hour. That's a fair is fair fee. But now the client says, well, I can get it for 1,500. So what you really want as a business is to gain some traction, get clients using you. Go in with a red hanger sale. It's not a fair is fair fee. It's not fair. You're not getting as much as you should be getting, but that's okay because it's not about going into the market with a fair is fair approach. You know, well, this product should be sold at 500 Rand. Well, you know, hold on a second. No one knows your product. You know, go in at 170 at cost. Gain some traction. So
I have a fundamental issue with that.
Okay.
And I have the issue only because I've been burned before. You know, what customers do is that they very quickly give you a market price. They're like the stock market. You know, you could be a food grocer, Pick n Pay, ShopRite, Spar. You all do what? You all have properties. You have little stores with aisles, and I can get anything from apples to pretty much anything I want. And you have tills. So I walk in, I grab a trolley, I buy stuff, I go to a till, I pay, I leave. Same offering, like everybody else. So how come the PE ratios and the valuations that the markets give these two businesses are different? How come? They do exactly the same thing. The problem with dropping price or lowballing in order to get traction is the difficulty to get yourself out of the price point that the market decides that you are worth whatever rate you came in with, and maybe a CPI increase here and there. But to really catapult, to become at the same level as perhaps the more established players when you started out 5 years ago, will always be difficult, because you will always be seen as by the market as the guy who started 5 years ago, who's behind the top.
How would you catapult?
How do you? That's the problem. It's a hella difficult.
Well,
so
that's why we're talking to the experts.
To answer your question directly, don't start there.
Fair enough.
Because it's hard to catch up. It's really difficult. You are better off, and we go back to the differentiation point. You are better off really thinking through that differentiator. So if I'm starting a consulting business and I'm competing with the big consulting firms around the world, McKinsey's, the Bains, etc., and the Deloitte's, and Andile and Adi are starting this consulting business, all right? We're going to do financial consulting, and the two of us are going to go out into the market and sell our skills, right? I come from Deloitte and you come from Bain, ex-Bain, ex-Deloitte partners. And we are going to go and offer a market the same skills that we used to do at Bain. We may take the view that we are not Bain when we're not Deloitte, even though that's where we cut our teeth. So we should charge our rate lower. I'm saying we better find a particular proposition that makes contracting for a client with the two of us a better proposition than contracting with the Bain. That should allow us to charge at least a similar price as a Bain and a Deloitte. So we know the things they will beat us at because we come from there. But we also know the things we can beat them at because we come from there. So ideally, I would say, spend more time trying to find the differentiator, the extra value that the client will get that you can compete on. And that try by all means not to be price. Because once you compete on price, it's hella difficult to get back up there. It's too difficult to get back up there. If you can't find the differentiator, I suspect you have a bigger problem. The bigger problem you may have is that maybe the proposition isn't compelling enough. If your only proposition is price, if Adi and Andile are saying, hello, Mr. Client, Bidvest, hire us because we're cheaper than Bain and Deloitte to employ us, maybe we don't really have a proposition for Bidvest.
I love it. I love it, and I'll tell you why, because you're psychic. Because you've led on to our next question, and you haven't seen these questions. So let me read question number 4.
Okay.
And then we can talk about this point. It reads as follows. How good does I've been passing you equipment. How good does your idea need to be? Right. Signing an NDA versus my idea is so good, it can't be copied easily. I'm happy to tell the world about it.
I'm in the latter. I'm in the camp at the end. I'm in the camp that says, my idea is so amazing. All I want to do is tell people about it, because that's how I'm going to get support. Because the more people I tell about it, the more people are likely to critique it. The more people are likely to want to support it. The more people are likely to want to fund it. The more people are likely to say, hey, man, you should talk to so-and-so because he was telling me the other day about something similar, but what you're talking about is a lot better than what he was saying. Maybe there's a partnership you can cut out there. If I tell no one, Adi, I have just cut every opportunity to grow my idea. So this whole, for one, I think NDAs, like all contracts, are probably the things that you should sign to protect yourself if things go really, really bad. So I'm not against NDAs. I think it's a sensible thing to sign an NDA. I just don't think being secretive about your idea is going to get you anywhere. And if your idea is that easy to copy, maybe it's not that great an idea. I know that sounds painful, right?
No, that's right. That's right. You can't just say, oh, well, we've added like a bit of a different, our product is different in this way.
Yeah.
But we don't want the big companies to find out about it because, then they'll copy our product, And now we start talking about, like, what's it, not trademarks, what's the other word? I have a patent and forget about it. Forget about it. You can't think that your patent, I know somebody that had a patent on a product, the big players took him to court. He ran out of money.
Of course.
Defending it. So how important is your idea has to be so good that it's so obvious that even the biggest players should be able to hear about it. But honestly, that is an absolute headache for us. Like, I cannot believe that's the way that they're doing it. It's going to bury us. That's what you should be aiming for.
Exactly. In business, you'll know this. We have a thing called execution risk. So for those who don't understand exactly what that means, so you could have a really great idea. You could, even have the kind of technology plans for it, but it means nothing if you can't execute it. It means nothing if you can't actually do it, because what good is an idea if it doesn't come to life? And in business, they've given it this term called execution risk. And execution risk is the risk that no matter how great something can be, Andile isn't the guy to do it, or Andile can't do it. And that's how a lot of startups get big investors. And even the big guys are willing to support the small guys. Why? Because when Andile comes with the idea, it may not necessarily be the idea that is the value for a partner. It may be the fact that Andile is probably the best person to implement or execute this idea. So stop being concerned about your idea being the thing to protect. Be yourself, be you, because everyone else is taken. You're the only unique thing. So be sure that when you talk about your idea, people see it in your eyes and they see the passion in your eyes and they go, I'm going to back this guy, even if his idea may not be that necessarily great, but I'm going to back him because I reckon he is likely to be the guy that not only executes on this idea, but maybe executes on further iterations of the idea. So I think a lot of people put way too much value on, oh, I have an idea. I, in my business experience, have learned that there's tremendous value in the individuals and in the teams and in the ability of people to execute. Because that, my friend, is a rare skill. I know it sounds like a small thing. The doers, they are very, very few and far between. The really good doers. There are many ideas. Walk into any coffee shop, there's ideas being discussed. Not very often are people doing. That's why they're in the coffee shop.
Absolutely. It's a topic that I hold dear to my heart because, when you need somebody to do something, as part of a project, you should write their number on a piece of paper and stick it like on your screen and literally phone them non-stop the whole day, because it's so important that when you eventually get hold of them and they see that they've had 15 missed calls, like, you need to be willing to take it on the chin that this person says, listen, like, honestly, I don't know who you are, but why the hell are you phoning me so much? Look, and then you need to be able to handle that next 10 seconds. Look, I don't mean to bother you. We're all working on this project. It's critically important that we get this out today. Please, I'm begging you, just give us that number, then we can move on. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I was holding the whole project up. There we go. So that is the difference. Instead of, oh, I've been trying to get hold of them. They haven't phoned me back. I tried 3 times. What are you talking? Well, this was 3 days ago. Oh, sorry. I've tried. I sent them 3 emails. Well, that's not good enough. That is the difference.
Yes.
Is the difference between someone who can execute and someone who can't. Is somebody who says, if I do not plug this hole, we're going to get flooded like we had floods on Saturday in Cape Town, So I've got floods in my mind.
And to your point, Adi, we don't get paid to try people 3 times. That's not the value exchange, you know? A company doesn't pay you a salary because you are there to try. A company pays you a salary because you achieve, because you execute, because you do something. That's why they pay you the money. They don't pay you for trying. This is not the Olympics of trying. It's the Olympics of doing. It's the Olympics of achieving. So when you get your text message end of the month and you know your salary is in there, you got to say, did I achieve? Did I deliver? Did I beg that guy to give us that number so the project could be finished? Yeah, I deserve this salary. No. And that's the harsh reality. And nobody wants to hear the truth. But it's the truth. You don't get paid for trying. You get paid for achieving, unfortunately.
I love it. I wish we hadn't run out of time. You know, we could talk for so long. And I just want to wish you, what day is it today? Today is Thursday. I wish you have a beautiful, successful, and Thursday where you achieve a lot.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it. You too, man. Thanks for the invite.
Thank you, Andile. All the best to you. Bye.